world where space and time are intertwined, one man dared to challenge the status quo. His name? Dayton Miller. His weapon of choice? A flute. But not just any flute. This instrument held the power to unleash the ether, a pervasive medium once thought to fill the universe. Miller, a physicist by trade, a musician at heart, discovered a harmonic resonance within the ether. He found that his flute, when played with precision, could manipulate this elusive medium. His melodies, a symphony of science, had the potential to shift the very fabric of reality. However, a sinister force lurked in the shadows. The Einsteinian demons. These creatures thrived in the distortion.
All right, hello and welcome, lads and ladettes. We're going to join the Friday Twitter crew and see what they're up to over there.
Pressure is defined as molecules, gas particles colliding with the walls of the container. Ooh.
You're talking about kinetic. Are you talking about kinetic gas theory, my dude?
What's up, Alan?
What's up, lads and ladettes? How's everyone? I see
What's up,
D3
bro?
down there. D3, I wish you luck in your quest. If you guys don't know, D3 woke up in a boat with amnesia and all he had on his back were tattooed the latitude and longitude numbers. So he's been trying to figure out how this spherical coordinate system works, where it began, the source, origins, everything. So he's on a journey. Wish you luck, my dude.
Sounds like it could be a long journey.
He's got tattoos on his back, huh? Now he's got to stare at a mirror.
Dude, it's like, dude, where's my car? He's like, what does your tattoo say? Latitude. What does your tattoo say? Longitude.
Sounds like the premise for a blind spot. It's a show. Watch it.
Well, I learned something new today. If I go out in my yard and I dig me a big hole so that I'm closer to the center, that gravity actually increases. The gravitational pull increases as I go down in the ground. I never knew that.
Did you know, too, that on the inner surface of the sphere, the gravity vectors would be going like in all different directions, and the only place that would have like an equipotential pull to the center is on the surface? It's called Newton's shell theorem. I'll see if I can find a diagram for it. But yeah, like as you go into the surface, the vectors change. They go in all different directions.
So we were.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out because the gravimeter, as you go down in the earth, registers stronger, but there should be less mass beneath you. And I don't know, Hap was saying, oh, no, little g equals big G, big M over R squared perfectly predicts an increase in accelerations as you go down in the hole. He said I made the wrong assumption. So I'm trying to figure out if I did. I told him give me the equations. He's trying to use cotton and some dense core as an analogy, and I keep telling him I just want the calculations. I said if they're above my head, that's fine. I know people that can read the equations.
Imagine you're a bug inside of a balloon. Man, these guys.
Dude, imagine you using a gravimeter to measure the local acceleration and then conflating that with big G, meaning the inferred density of Earth inferred from measuring two masses without accounting for electrostatics. Imagine thinking that, making that logical leap, Ken. Isn't that crazy? Everyone knows gravimeters only measure the local acceleration downward invariant.
No.
Ken knows. Ken's a gravimeter expert, man.
Did you say they tried to isolate Big G while not accounting for the position of the moon, Jupiter, or the sun at the time they did the measurements, but they were willing to go as far as to say that their own body weight would change the measurements? Is that what you just said?
Well, no, I'm saying that people who don't know just could think that a gravimeter would then be associated with the big G in any way, but they're only associated with little g in practical use, application, and all measurements, as I think was Ken's point. So that he was surprised when people who don't know, like Cap, would correctly quote mainstream Google page 1 and say that, nah, we predict everything, every post-diction that we've ever made has always been correct prematurely, etc. So that, the globe has always been kind of like how relativity predicts everything and is right about everything, because you can supply the correct answer for any circumstance and then backwards derive to get back to any calculation. Not unlike how refraction was treated before the cell theo, right? Like, any observation you make, give me the height, the distance, and I'm just plugging this coefficient and back over the edge that comes, and boom, back to globe predicts it every time, right? So with gravimeters, it's just measuring the local variance in 9.8, and it's such a tiny variant. It's like 0.3%, so which they then ignore to measure milligals in terms of 100,000th degree, so that they can measure the deviance from their perfect ellipsoidal normal. Retarded.
Of a meter, not a degree, but yeah, 100,000ths of a meter difference. But yeah, and then so on top of that, though, for Cavendish, the backbone of Big G, they didn't account for any dynamic positions of the celestial bodies whose gravitational influence would far outweigh the weight of a human.
So we do have a Globey in here in Pandra. Am I saying your name right, man? So
Looks
you got
like
any
Impan
questions?
Raj. Just
Yeah,
call him Raj.
Just call
yeah,
him.
there you go.
Okay,
You
all right.
pronounced correctly. Brilliant.
I tried, man. So you got any questions, man? You had something about your question in the sun about something?
Yeah, well, I have many questions, but it's going to be out of your topics. Is it okay if I start about Einstein theory is equal to mc squared? And
My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was scrolling.
yeah, I mean, okay, right,
So
Nick.
you want to talk about anybody? You guys, anybody down there good at Einstein stuff?
Did he just say E equals MC squared?
Correct.
I think we got
Okay.
Einstein guys in here. So
Yeah, that's they prove. That's what they proven in, like I said, Large Hadron Collider. 27,000 meters become shrinking to approximately 4 meters. So he was right. He said there's no anything cannot travel faster than light. On the other hand, you should know universe itself expanding faster than light. He said the thing. There's a thing couldn't travel faster than light. But the universe itself, or whatever, but if you don't want to say the universe, it's not such a thing. You said creation. You believe in the creation. You don't want to talk about simulation. Some others talk about simulation. Even decades ago, they talk about the universe is simulated. But okay, that's a different topic. Now, they trying to figure out in CERN, right, LHC, what happened. The Big Bang theory we're talking about. It's not a Big Bang. I think it's a one single point is expanded and still keep on expanding exponentially faster than light. But now the question is, if you believe the creation, right, what was it before then? So where the creator is living, what was the purpose of the universe and all the living species, including human being? I think Nick said you don't believe in simulation or blah blah blah. Do you have any perspective on that?
So I got to give you God's address.
Yes, go ahead.
Man, that's a tough call,
Well,
man.
regarding E equals MC squared, that concept was actually derived by several people prior to Einstein. And so it doesn't necessarily have to do with relativistic effects. And then in terms of Big Bang cosmology, you were kind of asking about that. So like, are you wanting to know like our opinions on what they say, in terms of uh modern cosmology, like with the expansion of the universe, etc., like what we have to say about that?
Pretty much.
Okay, so the idea that space is expanding 4 times the speed of light, comes out of Hubble's constant, which assumes the proportionality between velocity and distance for the redshift values. And it's been long known that the interpretation of redshift cosmologically is, incorrect. And you can even go back to one of my favorite papers to look at in terms of redshift and all of that is a paper by Y.P. Varnishi, and I'll link it here in a second. But the premise of the paper is that there's 53 quasars in concentric shells around the Earth that are you can only see all 53 of these from our perspective. If we were anywhere else in the universe, if we were on Mars, if we were on, if we were in any other place, we wouldn't see all 53 of them. So we're in this unique position to see all 53. So that was this guy's argument. And he goes on to say at the end that, you know, there's only 3 possibilities that could explain this. And the 2 possibilities he rules out, and the third possibility he says is that they would have to abandon the cosmological principle, and that's that the Earth, has no unique place in the universe, and they would also have to abandon general and special relativity as well, because that's what they use, for all their cosmological stuff to derive everything and make their assertions and stuff off of that, what they can simulate off of that. And then he goes on to say that perhaps another possibility, though, is we throw out our interpretation of redshift as we know that it has, problems with it. And so when I started looking into redshift, I came across a guy named Holton Arp. And if you've never heard of him, he was a well-accredited astronomer who was making observations that directly contradicted the Hubble's redshift interpretation. And he was finding that, when you look at galaxies and quasars in different spectrums of light, you can see that they're actually connected by filaments, like physical things. And so like the distances that they say that the quasars are, they couldn't possibly be physically connected, in the current paradigm. But the way that these filaments work out and the way that the jet streams of the galaxy, like ejection, forget what the thing, like the ejection cone, is all intersecting and pointing to us, and then it's pointing at these quasars in a line, like as if it ejected them and stuff. So he found all these observations that contradicted that, and then he came up with his own interpretation of why the redshift was happening. And he was basically blacklisted, and he couldn't get his stuff published. He got banned from making observations in observatories in the U.S. He had to move to the U.K. to work at some observatory where he was able to get scope time. But yeah, he was completely blackballed for interpreting the redshift in a different way. So mainstream cosmology is completely contingent on holding the narrative that the relationship that Hubble asserted is, an actual fact. And even Hubble himself said at the end of all of his speeches that he did is that his interpretation, could be wrong. So that's something to consider.
I copy that. Thanks.
Yeah. If you get a chance, there's a book called Seeing Red by Holton Arp, and he goes over the history of all this, breaks down the observations that he was making. It's like, it's not a super hard read, but he gives you like definitions of the things so that you know what he's talking about. But yeah, it was a really interesting book because, these things that are asserted to be all these vast distances apart that could never be connected are seemingly physically connected by actual material. So.
Hey, before we head on over to is everybody down there in the listener section hearing okay?
Yeah, I could hear super great before I came up, so it's working well.
Nice, appreciate it. What's up, JT? How you doing?
Who was the nice gentleman that was just speaking with Alan?
That's Raj. We're just gonna call him Raj.
Okay, Raj. Hey, man, I really appreciate you bringing that energy. Just like, hey, I've got a question. Let me ask you. It wasn't toxic or anything. I did want to mention too. Well, my name's JT. I'm run Boston Bear. Alan can do that all day. I don't know if you've followed Alan at all or looked at space audits or seen his Obsidian and all his resources and libraries. Like, that was the scratching of the surface of answering your question. I mean, really, what I wanted to say to you is you are in the place to learn quite a bit of truth of what actually is going on in reality with even like the sciences. When you first spoke, it sounded really good, like you were, explaining your understanding of the heliocentric model or, the mainstream narrative on where we live. And you might could do that all day, but you are in the best place to learn about our stationary topographical plane Earth. So, welcome.
Thanks. Thanks for having me anyway. I'm going to be here for a while. I think my phone battery is very low with a different time zone as well. Yeah, I'm going to I'm going to keep coming back. I'm going to keep coming back anyway.
Yeah, I've got to go on mute for a little bit to cook my children some eggs and hang out with them a little bit. I just did want to welcome you and say I'm not the guy to debate. I'm not going to get in your face or argue with you, and I can't even give answers like these other guys. But you did ask, like, where's the creator? And it would be conjecture from anybody. It would just be our idea of where the creator might be, or even the question, who is the creator? You've got people in the room that have varying answers on who that is. I mean, obviously, this place is created because of the intricacy, the design, that just the way it works can't be by accident, even though the mainstream answer is given enough time, this would have happened. And that's a cute story and everything. But I think every human knows that we're created and this place is created. Um, so, I think the creator is above us. I think he's looking down on his creation. He can see what he made. Um, and that's my answer, but I don't have to push my religious views on you. But yeah, I'm gonna dip out for a little while, but thanks for being here.
Shout out to Run Boston Bear there, man. He's probably running a marathon real quick.
I'll come back after I get them fed and in bed. If y'all are running for a couple hours, I'll come back. But I'll drop the listener and thank you all for being here. This is really the best place to be on Friday.
It is, man. Thanks for everybody. Retweet the space, man. It's Tech Globy or something like that. Even this Roundhound dude, if he wants to, have a civil conversation. He's Aussie, so you never know. But what's up there, Rob? How you doing?
Hi, Nick. How's things with you?
Doing okay, man.
Man, I got to tell you, I remember the last time I saw you on here, and man, you got that great looking cavalry hat.
Oh, yeah? You like that?
Yeah. So, got a couple of questions. I know that we've talked a little bit in the past about the Earth being flat, but what is the circumference of this flat Earth? In other words, is it round? Is it rectangular? Is it triangle?
I don't know, man. I don't have the equipment to find that out.
Okay. And my other question is, has anybody ever been to the edge?
The edge.
Of, right, to where they can look down and take pictures. I'd be interested to see that.
Not to my knowledge. I haven't done it.
Nobody here has, no?
Have you done it?
So then I guess I guess that blows the theory of the flat Earth, then, doesn't it?
What is
The
that?
problem is that we can't go to the edge and get pictures. They won't let us. We're not allowed to go past the 60th south parallel. So if there's a conspiracy to cover this up, they're not going to allow those pictures to get out, right? Otherwise, people would believe in it. So it's pretty easy. They own all the media outlets to just suppress that information. If anyone were ever to make it there, which they have, things in place to make sure that doesn't happen to begin with.
Okay,
Well, we can
so
speculate on if people have done it, the rich people before us, the ones that actually explore the lands that they block off. It's possible that they know what this Earth is, what it looks like in its entirety.
okay, so let me ask you this: who is they? Does they have a name?
Well, I refer to them as the Federal Reserve Cabal because they objectively literally own everything. State Street, Vanguard, Fidelity, BlackRock, JP Morgan, Chase. I mean, I could go on and keep naming names, but that could start you in the right direction. You could look at who's behind those organizations. It's always the same people.
Right, but still, I mean, again, what is the circumference? And has anyone been to the edge where they've been able to look down and
Again,
take pictures?
These are all answers questions we want answers to as well. But again, if there's a huge conspiracy to cover this up, they're not going to let this information out, right? So no, I don't think this can be stuff you're going to be able to find.
Okay, so then that again blows the theory out of the water that the Earth is flat.
Why is that?
Well, because you can't answer those questions.
Why do I?
Well, I would think.
I got.
Well, I mean, I gotta go.
Hold on a second.
I would think with all the experience that you guys have.
Hold on a second, Rob. Hold on a second. I know you're excited and stuff, but are you saying that I got to physically go to the edge of the Earth and get a picture of what's below the edge? Who says you'd be able to do that?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
What if an ant was on a
said I got to do it? Who says you can do it?
What if an ant was on a pool table?
Well, I mean,
we're talking about
why I got to point it down? Can I just shoot it out? I mean, allegedly, God put us in the midst of the waters and separated the waters above from the waters below.
Well, I mean, you're saying that the Earth is flat. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me finish. Okay. You're saying that it's flat, and I'm asking you, this Earth that you're describing, what is the circumference? Is it round? Is it triangular? Is it
hey,
rectangle?
Rob, how did they determine the circumference for the globe?
You're asking a question with a question.
Yeah,
you're asking a question with a question.
I'm gonna get this
I want to know how your model determined the circumference. You're asking us why we don't have it. How did you get it?
With a question.
So,
can I just say this real quick?
I'm going to answer your question for you, Rob. I don't know what the shape of the Earth is in its entirety. It could be a triangle. It could be something with four corners.
Okay. So then that would mean, hold on a minute here. If you're saying that it could be one of those circumferences, then there's an end point. Then there's an end point. So at that end point, can you get to where you can take pictures looking down at the end point? At that end point.
Theoretically, if I had the means, I might be able to, hop on an airplane and fly it in one direction continuously until I came to the edge. But in that meantime, I'd still be flying over a flat plane, don't you think?
Can you guys hear me?
Right, but no, I can't.
Rob, can I just say something?
What I'm saying is that when you get to that end point, why can't you take any pictures? I'm trying to talk with Nick, okay, and you're interrupting me.
Nick, can I talk for?
Well,
no, you can't.
Here's the thing, Rob. You're asking a ridiculous question. All right, I'm not a billionaire, and I can't go to the edge of the Earth. So pick something else.
Can I just address the logical fallacy? Because imagine there's ants on a pool table and they can't get to the edge because they're boxed in and they're not allowed to the edge. Just because they're not allowed to go to the edge and take pictures doesn't mean the pool table's not flat. That just means they're not allowed to go to the edge. So, Rob, it's a logical fallacy what you're saying. That's all I wanted to say.
You got the answer for everything. That's what I'm going to say.
Well,
I'm a Globie, and I concede that that's a terrible argument.
it is a terrible argument.
I don't think that it's a terrible argument. You're saying that it's flat. Okay.
Well,
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Look, Nick. Nick.
Seriously,
Nick.
stop it. Seriously, I don't know what you're doing here, but I said pick something else, man. We're not getting to the edge of the earth for you, okay? All right, pick anything else. Stop being a child here. All right, I don't have the means to get to the edge of the earth. I don't have the means to go to Australia, okay? All right? I'm not a billionaire, all right? I don't have any ways to go measure the earth and show you what shape it is. So stop being a child. Did Rob leave?
I'm right here, but I have to disagree. I'm not being a child.
You are being
I think the questions that I asked were realistic, but I won't bring it up anymore.
Not realistic.
Opinions vary.
Yeah, they're
Rob, there's areas of the Earth that we're unable to freely and independently travel to. There's restrictions. It's guarded. How would we get to this edge if we can't freely and independently travel in that direction or any direction towards it?
I could give you guys another way to steer it. I remember Rob last time he said he saw like the boat go over the curve. So I remember that, Rob. So that would prove it's a globe, according to Rob.
Here's a way to look at the argument. So it's like somebody is cheating on you, but you don't know who it is. Well, therefore, they're not cheating on you. That's why it's ridiculous.
Exactly. I mean,
Well
come
said.
on. So, if the Earth is a globe, Rob, can you get is that your best proof? There is boats go over the curve.
So I thought you didn't want to talk about this anymore, Nick. I thought you wanted to change the subject. Why are you trying to bait me into this conversation again?
That's what you said. Those were your words.
Oh my God, Rob, are you drunk?
I'm not drunk at all. I'm completely sober. I'm having coffee.
Is you sober?
I just asked you a couple of simple questions. I wasn't being argumentative or anything. I was just asking a couple of simple questions,
bro.
and you couldn't answer them, and I accepted it. Thank you.
Dude, your questions were ridiculous.
But you answered them. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome, I guess. Got Stone in the house. What's up, Stone?
Yo, hey, everybody. Yeah, I just got back to the machine.
What's up, Soji?
How we doing?
Well, I can't get to the edge of the earth and take a picture, so.
Yeah, so much for the clothing guy.
I guess we got to wrap it up, boys. Pack her up.
What up, Stoney?
Hey, man. Yeah, busy, productive today outside. Got a buddy with a tractor, and he's got a big-ass grass cutter attachment on the back of it, which he hit a massive rock with this week and literally tore the double-bladed disc mount right off the bottom of this unit, right at the spindle. Just gone, dropped off. So, yeah, he brought it over here, and we did some open-heart surgery on it in the steel fabrication department. Got the MIG welder out and all the grinders and shit, and absolutely brought it back to life. Saved the guy $1,200 just on the price of the unit, plus the hassle to go get it and stuff. A very thrilled neighbor, you might say. But yeah, a good chance to show off some of the skills.
Nice.
So what were the questions that Rob asked? Somebody want to recap those for me, if it's relevant at all?
Oh my. What's the circumference of the Earth?
It's more of a statement. If you can't see the picture of the edge, it can't be flat. That was his premise. Game over, boys.
Yeah, you can't get to the edge of the Earth and take a picture, so. can't be flat.
Well, also, it was a nice misunderstanding of where the circumference of 24,901 miles came from. The observation of set angles applied to a known distance and the circumference of a circle, with the misunderstanding of how a circle would differ from a sphere, meaning that the northern hemisphere of a sphere obviously would be exactly equal to the inner circle of a circle anyway. So the equatorial circumference is the one thing, and the fact that would be equal between models anyway, but whatever.
Well, it sounds like he was just asking for the length of the sun's GP trail once per day, right?
Yeah, well, that was the second premise. And then the other one, as stated, was, hey, if you can't see the edge, it ain't flat.
Alrighty, as you were.
Did we get that wrapped up in a nutshell there for you, Rob?
Well, he said he did.
I'm respecting your wishes. You've already yelled at me twice about changing the subject, but here you are trying to bait me into this again.
Well, first of all, I said I can't get to the edge, so pick another subject.
Right, and so you made your point clear. I've accepted your answers. Let's move on.
We're trying to move on, but you don't seem to want to.
Well, I am moving on. I respected your wishes.
So
You said
is
change the
moving on?
subject.
So is moving on?
Change the subject, and we'll move on
Does
to
that-
something different.
Does that?
Hey, can we move on
I'm
from moving on?
satisfied with your answers. I'm satisfied with your answers, Nick. Thank you.
So you guys obviously have a history. That's neat.
1 second. Rob, I put the mathematical equivalence up in the jumbo thing. If you know how to access that, it's the most recent post I just put up there in the space.
So, Rob, why do you think you live on?
I'll take a look at it. Thank you.
Oh, no
Rob, I
problem.
appreciate you coming into this conversation. Why do you think you live on a ball?
I'm, like I said, this is the fourth time I'm saying this. I don't like repeating myself. Nick has asked me not to bring this up anymore. So I'm respecting his wishes.
I never told you.
Thank you very much.
I didn't tell
Thank
you that. You're allowed to talk about it. I said I can't get to the edge of the earth, so you continuously ask me to get you a picture. It's pretty much useless. So pick something else. And he's asking
Okay.
you. And
Let's move on to something. I don't have anything else to say. I'm here to listen. Thank you.
And then we asked you, why do you think you live on a ball? And you said something ridiculous again. And then, are you sure you know this is you?
I think we didn't bait him or anything. We just asked him another question now, which I think is moving on. And you generally asked him, okay, well, why do you think we live on a ball? Rob, if you want to handle that particular question, that might be productive. I don't know.
Okay, so again, you're trying to bait me into another question. And by me continuing on talking about this conversation, I would be disrespecting Nick.
No,
he has asked me.
No.
See, I'm trying to speak here,
I don't care.
and you're interrupting me.
Well, let me go ahead and interrupt you. You're not disrespecting me by having a conversation with anybody else or myself about any other topic. You asked me if I could get you a picture from the edge of the earth. I said I couldn't. Doesn't mean you have to stop talking. So.
One second, lads. Lost audio.
You saw the Flat Earth Friday was going on, started listening. But I've got the stuff I needed, so I'm checking out, actually.
Ooh, I don't think we're legally allowed to call it that, but appreciate the sentiment.
Call it what?
That's Flat Earth on Friday. No copyright infringements here, man.
So, yeah. It pays to read.
What's up, KJ?
I was just wondering if Rob believes he lives on a globe because you don't know the circumference of the flat Earth and can't get to the edge. Therefore, the Earth is the globe. That's kind of what it may sound like.
Well,
don't
I
provoke
didn't.
him.
Yeah, he was down there in listener. You can try again later.
But yeah, I think that's what he was getting at, is because you can't do what you do or give us a number that therefore it must be a sphere, which is
What?
retarded.
Yeah, that's basically what it said. Blows it out of the water, man. Oh, you can't get that picture. Flat
Yeah,
Earth over.
but if the Earth was flat, the sun would never set. So we should always see the sun. So therefore, Earth not flat.
And if you ask him about Earth curvature, Earth motion, or pressure uh, outside of a container or inside of a container, you're changing the topic and trying to bait him in.
Like his questions weren't big questions. What shape is the Earth? Is it a triangle? No, it could look like Texas, probably not. Probably doesn't though.
I think that's a bad way to attack the flat Earth. I think the only way is like the curvature. That's like the only way, like to see eye to eye. You know what I mean?
Curvature, motion, and pressure in a container. There are three fundamentals, really.
That's it.
I'd like to see some Earth motion around the sun. That would be my kill. Then I could stop being a
Well, I mean,
geostatist
just
or
all
whatever.
you really.
Curvature, motion, and pressure in a container. There are three fundamentals, really.
That's it.
I'd like to see some Earth motion around the sun. That would be my kill. Then I could stop being a geostatist.
Well, I mean, just
or
all
whatever.
you really need is curvature, bro.
It's so locally flat everywhere. It's got to be a ball, obviously.
No, well, that's so that No Man's Sky thing. Going back to that, but I'm still testing more stuff, so I'm not gonna say further. But it does look flat on the game.
Which tests are you doing?
I'm playing a game called No Man's Sky, so it's like a procedurally generated universe. You could fly anywhere, pretty much,
Are
and
you
there's no
testing, or
cut.
are you playing No Man's Sky?
Yeah, he's simming. He's not testing.
This
I
is
get it now.
it's a game. This is the first time I've tried it because someone came in here earlier today, and I was like, "Wait, that's a good idea." So I started playing, and I went on the planet. It looks like Earth, like you could go to any planet. So I still got to find a planet that's close to Earth. But I'm saying it looks flat. Like it doesn't look like a curve when you're
Yeah,
on
but
when you're
they just use
standing.
the coordinates of. That's all that is. They just turn it into a ball. That's all.
Well, there's no cutscenes. Like when I fly up, I could see myself going up, and it turns into a globe.
Yeah, but it's a game.
Yeah,
That's a fair
you're
point.
simming.
That's a
right?
very fair point. Yeah. So, but I mean, it doesn't cut
Have you
anywhere.
seen Colonel Space Program? I mean, that's proof that space is
See,
real,
that's
I
what I was
guess.
thinking too. That could be a good idea because, like, in the
No,
game,
it's not. It's a terrible idea. It's supposed to be a bad analogy, dude. I don't understand how you were like,
Okay.
yeah, that's definitely right.
Okay, that one might be a bad idea. But the thing with No Man's Sky, it's like really smooth. It's like really realistic. The only problem is spaceship is too fast. So I don't know how high up I am. Like I gotta test. I gotta see that because it's going up too fast. Like I see the curve pretty fast. I'll be honest, but I don't know how big those planets are in scale.
You think they're
Dude,
gonna make a
so,
flat Earth video game?
Bro,
dude,
that's
like
the second guy tonight who's like, it can't be flat because of video games.
dude, just take your idea, go to
No,
Desmos, build a
I started
model, build
playing
in
the
8
game
inches
because of
per
the
mile
guy.
squared, build in a radio of linear rate of depression, compare the two models at scale, and see if one overlaps the other. That's how you take that actual idea and make
Right,
it like
I agree.
useful.
I
Yeah.
agree. But
But
how would
no,
you build that?
you go to
Shane?
Desmos and start using a formula. You start adding like formulas and shit, right? 8 inches per mile squared.
Sorry.
Okay,
Go ahead,
fair.
I was actually going to make a reference. There's, the CEO of NVIDIA. Well, he actually just had an interview on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about the early days of his company where they literally did everything wrong, according to him. One of those things was using rounded objects instead of triangles and polygons. So I mean, take that into consideration if you're gonna, appeal to a sim.
Well, he's just saying you can emulate what it would be like to raise up on a really big sphere in reality than the game.
That's
I
what I'm
think that was
saying.
the
Yeah.
premise. So then you can really, take that model and apply some specificity and map that out, as Stone would say, and put an actual to scale model on, Desmos or whatever the other emulation programs are, and then
Do you not
see
agree
that
with that, Shane?
a sphere radius 3959. That no, like, so I don't think that you would. I don't think that using the game to exit and land on a planet is going to show me that actually Earth is a sphere. No,
No,
and
what you
actually
just said.
in
What
No
you
Man's
just
Sky on the ground, it looks flat. I don't understand why you think it looks.
no, what
It's
you
no
just
different.
described.
And you can definitely see the curve because those planets are tiny. They don't even scale them right. You can almost stand up and like touch space on most of them too.
I agree, but this is the first day I've tried, so I don't know.
All
I'm
right.
just
All right.
The movie Spaceballs had a globe Earth on it too, so it must be a globe, right? You can't trust a video game, bro.
right. Yeah, fair enough. Does or Shane, the thing you were describing, the experiment, would that prove it? Well, have you tried doing that or?
Well, in my opinion, you could model 8 inches per mile squared and a linear regression rate of like basic perspective, and then it would be exactly the same up to the surface on 100 miles. So you can model that and you can show that, sure, but that's what the math shows already.
Well, you're
and that's
you're relying on a couple of things there. One, on the actual game engine's interpretation of how we view curved linear space, curved visual space, rather. The second is that you got to have a proper factoring for the opacity of air, just for starters. You know what I mean? There are a lot of other factors than just how you build the surface of it. They've all got to be integrated correctly before you're going to get the realistic representation of it. Otherwise it's just another sim, bro.
Right. Like I knew that before I even launched the game today. Like I knew that. I don't know about all that, but it's still a good place to start. You know what I mean? But what Shane described, that's obviously a better place to start.
but it's going to show you that it's like equivalent. So like then you go take more steps, right? Get a P1000 or whatever, and go out and take some images. Or better yet, do an example where you raise and lower a camera over a perfectly flat surface and see if you can get something to disappear bottom up, just as a facet of observer height. And I bet that you would see the same result.
What'd you say about a camera?
So we watched this on the last stream we did a couple weeks ago. We watched this Life is Short guy do a nice example on his simulation of how he thinks vision works, and he did a camera, his iPhone, raising and lowering over a small lake. It was perfectly flat, perfectly mirrored, and then the things on the opposing bank would disappear completely as the camera approached the surface of the water. So literally, as observer height became 0, the bottom would disappear at a higher rate, which would demonstrate linear disappearance in accordance with confusing with 8 inches per mile squared. It'd be disappearing at the same rate. And at the bottom, the opposing bank disappeared completely. So visual, optic effect of bottom up disappearance. So that's just what you would see at scale on the beach when the bottom of a ship disappears first, because you're staring out, much closer to the ground than you are the sky. So the bottom disappears faster than the top. The math works that unequal angles can't compress equally, right? Only equal angles compress equally. So the only way it's equal compression is if your observer height is exactly in the middle at the equatorial plane of the upper and bottom limit. And that doesn't happen when you're on the surface of the Earth looking out with an infinitely high skybox and, 1 inch from above the surface or whatever.
By the way, KJ has his hand up. I don't know if you mean to have your hand up.
What's up, KJ?
No, my hand's not up.
Oh, tap it again, because for us it looks like it is. But dude, next to you, how do you pronounce your nick there? Is that Minsry or something else?
You can just call me 33. It's just random letters, to be honest.
Oh, okay. 33 it is.
All right, my
Illuminati confirmed.
My Neezer, what up?
Yeah, what's up?
Bro says call me 33. Don't worry about it, bro.
What's up, Stone?
Yeah, hey man, didn't I give you a couple things to watch or do last Friday?
You
had some homework, didn't you?
Yeah, he's a test taker, all right? He's not a homework guy. I'm the same way. I get it.
It's probably in a tab somewhere, to be honest. It's probably in a tab.
Well, find it, man. Get back. Let's
Wait, what was
see
it
if
about
progress
again?
was made. Well, I was going to ask you, man. It was your homework.
Well,
I
give
talked to
me a
lots of
hint.
people.
Give me a hint. I'll remember.
You were
That was
supposed to go to his Rumble page and watch a few videos.
Got
That's for
it.
sure. It's a question
Okay.
which ones.
Oh, dude, I
I'm
would
sure
pay
it'll.
Stone as my teacher, dude. Oh
Dude,
my
that's
god.
homework
Oh,
everyone
you're
should
a
have.
little late there,
Oh, it was
Beasticles.
about the thing the sailors use. What is it called?
Oh, right. Yeah, you were
Sexton.
checking out the sextant and all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
thing. I
right.
remember that. Okay, the arc
Yeah,
minutes or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. That's right. And the dip charts and shit. Yeah, you had lots
Yep.
to do.
Yep. I
Yeah.
remember.
Did you do any of it? No.
It's on my to-do list. It's on my
There it
to-do
is.
list.
There it is. Okay, okay.
It's a little complicated, bro. So
I'll just write that down in the ledger. No problem.
I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
The video game's more accurate than Stone's
Exactly.
Stone's
Spend a
information.
time
So,
to play
yeah.
No Man's Sky, but not do his homework. What do we call that, lads? He's like, no, I was doing an example. I was studying. I was modeling.
Yeah, I didn't watch your video, but anyway, I was playing this game.
And I thought it was the best example of what you didn't show me.
Totally.
I'm just playing.
The cool thing about Stone's videos is you don't need to hear it. You can literally just have it on mute. So
Yeah, but everyone should have the homework of going to Stone's Rumble and watching some shit.
Well, and the sad thing is that a flight simulator shows everything flying over a flat plane.
Yeah, that it does.
How
These are all
dare you? In the
terrible
most
examples.
recent patch of Microsoft Flight Simulator, they added ball curve or whatever, I heard.
all the reviews are probably like, it's dog shit now. It's horrible. It sucks.
Keep crashing my plane because I have to keep bringing the nose down. I can never figure how much.
Keep crashing my plane.
And
That's what I
nothing,
was thinking.
and nothing changed or whatever. Like it's still just the same.
You think you're lagging, but it's really just Coriolis.
God damn it. Every time I take off, I leave the controls alone. I set on autopilot. Next thing I know, I'm next to the ISS. I'm in fucking space. What am I going to do with my plane here, guys? Come on. It's just not right.
Dude, my game keeps crashing. Like I keep lagging. I can never land right. No. That's this new Coriolis DLC we added.
Are you flying perpendicular to the plane of rotation? You're going to feel a little drift, dude.
It's insane. Yeah, I don't really agree with Dave's argumentation all the way. Like I get it. There would be a log of the differences, right? But I'm just saying 15 degrees per hour doesn't matter if it's 1,000 miles per hour or not. You're going to be with the law of conservation momentum. So, if you're going against it, I mean, I don't see it as significant compared to wind. Like wind is way more significant to a pilot and pressure and stuff.
It's all there is to a pilot. It's what the air's doing. Yeah.
Right.
We actually listened to Bob Nodell today talking about that 15 degrees. So it's definitely not the Earth spinning.
Can't be based on all the measurements, and all the measurements with sidereal and solar time can't be different at the same latitude at different elevations. None of that can be if it's Earth spin. That's how we know it's not Earth spin, specifically and scientifically.
But they don't like the scientific part. They just got that one little clip in there. Bob proved it.
Well, Dayton Miller and like Yuri Gallov and a bunch of people came and did it, but Dayton Miller did it so many, I don't know how many millions of times that they had to wait until he was well dead and buried before they came to besmirch him and say that he made no account for temperature, even though he accounted specifically and drastically for it every step of the way, so that he would just go away so they can go back to pretending that it was Earth spin. And then they took all the variables that he was measuring, like, hey, you know what? the higher you go, the more pronounced this effect is. They go, oh yeah, well, we're gonna do it in a basement. Can we go deeper? We're gonna go to the bottom of a lab. I'm like, okay, well, it works better with equal length, arms. They're like, yeah, we're gonna make them unequal. We're gonna go unequal as we can. We're gonna put unequal arms to the bottom of the lab and the far as low as we can go. And then like, look, now the differences are approaching zero. And then they say that actually they replicated it and they minimized it, but that's how they bastardized and destroyed Dayton Miller's work and waited until after he was dead to do it. So yeah, definitely can't be spin.
Yeah, the more concrete, the better.
Can we dig deeper below the concrete? Let's go ahead and do that. We'll put the unequal arms down there. Dude was doing his experiments on top of a mountain. They were like, well, we're going to replicate it at the bottom of our secret lab beneath a frozen lake of concrete. The measurements deviate the higher you go at latitudes. They were like, yeah, well, below the mountain, they don't. It's like, okay. Anyway, thanks, Bob, for proving that to us, dude. Measuring the ether wind.
He did no such thing. You know it.
Yeah, but I like to say thanks, Bob, because they like to say thanks, Bob, and I think
yes, it's the thanks, Bob versus thanks, Bob combat. Yes. Very amusing. Very amusing.
You know how in like the history of the Renaissance and the Jesuits took over society and there's learning against learning with institutionalized dog shit against institutionalized other dog shit? That's what I wanted to try and do. I'm going to form some institutionalized learning against learning over here.
It's the Convolution Olympics. Here we go.
Aggressively misunderstanding everything.
Yeah, at least the boys on Twitter here aren't excessively and aggressively employing these sophistry tactics that I've never seen before. Like aggressively misrepresent Mott and Bailey, hold a position and then retreat to a less ridiculous position, never answer direct questions, only ask questions to confuse and disseminate, never to clarify and understand, avoid conclusions at all costs. Like that if you're talking to people who do that all the time, it gets like wearing on your soul. So it's good that these people actually ask questions and then listen.
Oh, wait. So what's with this news guy? I saw him last week, but I didn't hear much out of him. Did I arrive late last time? Yeah, he's got all kinds of cool fucking sounds, but does he say anything intelligible is the question.
No, I'm just up here farming. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally a flat Earth enthusiast as well. Yeah, what do you want to know?
Why does your profile say global news first and foremost then?
Because it's global news. Oh, that
I mean,
holy shit, mind blown, guys. Okay, now I'm cooked.
Got him.
Like, I don't know if that's
but no,
a
I'm still learning too. So I usually am just keeping quiet in here because, like, even most recently, I've discovered that the moon isn't real and it's a reflection of the sun in different ways. So that's new news to me. I do definitely believe that there's way more land beyond what we know, what we're constrained to through the United Nations.
Hold up. Did you say the moon is not real?
Fake? The moon is a reflection of the sun. Is that what you say you learned? Like definitively know that now?
No, but like.
Oh.
Where did you hear that nonsense? I mean, seriously.
Well, I'm just trying to pick up on stuff. That's probably not 100% accurate. It's probably bullshit, but still learning about
Did you
exactly
just lob
what the moon
something
is.
and then immediately retreat and do the thing I said that tactics people do? Because that would be crazy if you just did that right in front of everyone.
I think he actually did that.
Well, if it's a reflection of something, but if it's not particularly the sun, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm not going to sound educated on something I'm not, you know? So I don't know where we can go from here, but.
Why do you think it's a reflection?
Why would you bring that up as your first like posit though? That's such a weird thing that no one's ever heard of this thing.
No, I thought I heard that earlier today in today's discussion about the solar eclipse. When
you
were
thought
here.
somebody here said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why do you think that? Not what someone else said.
Were you making fun of what you thought somebody said that you thought was retarded? I can accept that. Can we just pretend that's what happened? I'm just gonna think that's what happened, and we're gonna move on.
You got me confused, but sure, we'll go with that.
Shane, stop being biased towards the soundboards. Why do you think that? Like, why do you think it's a like? Do you actually subscribe to that? Is there a reason why you subscribe to that? If you do,
I don't know, and like I don't know exactly what entirely is going on, but I've seen videos. I don't even know exactly where they've been taken, but somewhere I think south, where the sun isn't really setting. It's kind of just going in a. I don't know. Somebody help me here.
I don't know where you are or where you're going, to be honest. I'm trying to think about helping you, but I can't.
Okay, I'll have to get something up in the. I'll have to get some information.
Talking about like the 24-hour sun?
Yes.
Where it doesn't
to
set, it just
that.
circles around.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, that's done in the north, and it's supposed to be done in the south as well.
Yeah, so based off of that, I was coming to the conclusion that the moon was maybe a reflection off of the sun, but I don't know.
Off of the sun.
You tell me, Shane. What is the moon, sir? Teach me.
Oh, I don't know. I've heard crazier theories though, so I don't know. That's why I had to see if we were taking it seriously, because people say that the moon is a perfect map of the Earth with displayed continent sizes and all the Lemuria lands and all splayed out. People have drawn maps of flight paths that they try to put on the moon map, that they have the transition to faces and all sorts of shit. And then they say that that's a reflection, and then I don't put any of that. I think I looked into that at some point, and I don't think that that makes sense. But to say it's a reflection of the sun, I haven't heard. Haven't heard that one. People say they're a
Well,
reflection of the firmament, and that's kind of crazy. So I don't know.
just to totally interrupt, would you look at that? Who's in the audience right now? Not just El Presidente, but my man Flat Earth Dave is standing right there. He's up late. I got to applaud him for that. That
wanna
guy's
try
an
and
early
beat-
riser typically. Yes, Mike.
Yeah.
That would be interesting, I think. Good time for an update. Haven't heard much from Dave for a while.
I would like to hear from Dave if he's around.
I do not see Flat Earth Dave down there.
He should be right near the top because he's got 59,000 followers. You should find him right up tucked in next
there
to
he
El
is.
Presidente. Yeah, there
And he
is.
was hiding. Is he up here?
Not that I can see yet, but hopefully he hits it.
I don't know if we socially shamed him enough at this point. There might be some more in that progress bar we have to press.
Should we start to chant?
Hold on a second. Give me a second. Where'd he go?
Thought I saw him just pop up here. Oh, it's still in request.
I know I saw him go on.
First of all, I hardly know, I hardly know how to use Twitter Spaces, so I'm embarrassed about that.
Welcome back.
But it's only 8 o'clock. What do you mean I'm up late?
9 o'clock.
Oh, it's 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 9 your
Actually, the
time.
legend.
Oh, it's Friday night. I can stay up till 10 on Friday.
Ooh, let's hear it for the wife. And to know that leash, just keep leashing it out there. That's awesome.
What's up,
That's
man?
awesome.
Stone.
Flat Earth
How you
Dave,
guys
can you
doing?
help me out,
Been so
buddy?
long, Dave. Did you catch Globebusters on Sunday? I did a pretty big recap of the experiment.
You know what? It's on my list.
right.
A couple of people, Run
Okay.
Boston Bear sent it to me, and I will definitely. I want to catch it in full when I have some time.
Excellent. Yes, by all means. Yes, pause and reflect. That's where we're at right now. And I don't know, we're kind of recouping. We got the wagons all circled again. We're looking for more pilots. And I'm looking to connect the people who'd like to fund things like this to the people who would like to fly things like this. And I want to get the money going directly from one to the other. So I'm not like, my hands are off. You know what I mean? Make it as efficient as possible, as few bank fees as possible, and as little as possible that the Globies can talk about us being grifters in it for the money and blah, blah, blah. But no, it's looking pretty good these days.
Nice. Somebody was trying to ask me a question. I'm not sure who it was.
Yeah, Canadian News. Flat Earth Dave, you're a legend, by the way. Seeing some of your content. And my question to you, what is the moon?
It's cheese, man. Come on.
Oh, come on.
Listen, as Shane said it perfectly, how would I know? With everything in the sky, we can only speculate on it. We can only theorize about it. There's some evidences of some things. The whole sun, the moon, this moon being a reflection of the sun, interesting. I have no proof of it, though. You know, I don't know what the moon is. I don't think the moon that we see is a physical moon, but that's just my opinion. It's interesting how, you know, it has a lot of effects on human psyche, on women's cycles. You know, they say the moon affects women's cycles and the sun affects men's cycles. That's interesting. But for anyone to make a positive claim on what it is speculative. Is that the right word?
Yep,
Heck,
that's the word.
even
The light.
and the effect a full moon has on everybody. I was just
Yeah.
reading something about that, man. Yeah, it's weird.
You know, like in this community, we can prove things aren't. Like we can prove we're not a ball in a space vacuum. We can prove lots of things. We can prove that satellites that we see with our naked eye aren't the distances and sizes they tell us. Doesn't mean we have to replace them. You know, falsification is independent of replacement. I think Austin came up with that, or whoever did. But that is an ultimate fact. Stone. Somebody stole my cookie, my last cookie tonight, and I think it was you. Can you prove that you didn't?
Well, you better find my fingerprints somewhere in your kitchen first.
Well, you can prove that you're nowhere near the East Coast, and it was stolen
That's
2
for
hours
sure.
ago. Right. So unless you tell me who stole the cookie, I'm going to hold you accountable. That's
I
what the
got you.
Globers want us to do. They will. If you don't know what the moon is, then forget it. Like flat earthers know that we don't know everything. Globers think they know everything, and they know nothing.
Literally.
Humble.
You know. Speaking of humble, this whole thing is, the problem people have with waking up is when you find out that the Earth is flat. It's a big blow to your ego, and if your ego is huge, you have a hard time letting go because you have to realize that your whole life has been a lie. I've been completely able to kill my ego 100%, and now I realize I'm better than everybody else. So there you go.
That's hilarious.
It's my favorite joke of the week.
No, it's true though. You do hear some people come into this room, and you just hear them argue about the craziest, simplest facts. Like somebody today was saying that they couldn't see like a straight plane from settled water in a lake or like a pond, and it's just ludicrous stuff that people say, and they go to any extent to defend stupidity sometimes
Yeah.
for their
You know
ego.
what? When people start doing the credentials fallacy, where'd you get your, indoctrination from? And my answer is, you don't have to be smart to know that we don't live on a globe. You really don't. You don't have to be that smart. Just have a little bit of common sense and a little bit of critical thinking, and you can tell that the globe is a complete and total lie. But you have to be pretty dumb to believe in the globe. I don't know.
Man, I get that.
It's so basic.
I get at first you're going to have a little bit of skepticism. I mean, we got raised on this stuff, and all of a sudden somebody says, "Hey, the Earth is flat," and you're like, "What?"
I think we all had the same thing. When we first heard about it, we ridiculed the person, we made fun of them, we laughed at them, and we thought we knew everything about the globe. But then, we realized that we've never tested any of it.
Then you start saying stuff, well, it might be like this, and somebody called you stupid, and you shouldn't have children and go back and learn the basics. So you're like, well, maybe I should look into this basics thing. And it turns out that they can't get by the basics.
Are you guys noticing that random people in your life are now asking questions about flat Earth? That they're like, I heard something about this. I've been looking into it. I've been seeing it happening exponentially faster or more people than before.
Yeah,
I see
100%, Dave.
so many people. Yeah.
JT's got a story about that from last week, man.
Well, actually, Stone, I've got an update. So the one guy I was on the phone
Cool.
with, who was an Asurion guy, and we talked for a while. And like, I think it's important to connect first. Like, we just connected as people. He helped me with my issues. I said, "Man, you're a great representative. I appreciate you helping me with this issue." Just by chance, I was like, "By chance, have you like looked into conspiratorial things?" He goes like, "Yo, you mean like conspiracy theories?" I said, "Well, yeah, have you looked into things?" He goes, "Well, lately I've been looking into like the government and different lies they've told us." I said, "Yeah, that's the spirit." I said, "Have you gotten all the way to flat Earth?" He's like, "What? No, I think I'm going to go down the deepest rabbit hole ever. Tell me more." Like, he was interested, and I said, "Well, we might not live on a spinning ball, and dinosaurs may not have existed in the way that we were taught in billions of years. It's just a story like the heliocentric model." And I laid out a few other things, and then sent him flatearthdave.com because I told him that's the easiest way to get some info. But the update is we have a milk guy drop in our driveway, like raw milk and different meats and different awesome products. And a guy came and he was new and he's like, "Hey, can you show me how all this works? How do I pay? And where are the actual items?" And we talked for a bit. And then I guess we just started talking about the government and conspiracies and such. And next thing I know, he's asking me about biblical cosmology and if I've heard about it. And I just like let him go. I was like, "Yeah, I've heard a little bit about it. Go ahead, baby. Tell me more. Tell me what you know." And he was like laying things down. And it was an awesome conversation. So, Dave, you're right. More and more people are hearing about it. And they're curious because they know that the thing that happened in the early 2021 was totally a sham, and other deceptions are like being proved to be real. And so TikTok, Instagram, all these platforms are showing more and more and more truth, and FE's mixed in, and people are curious.
Whoever at the beginning said, that called me a legend, I just have a very big mouth, and I've luckily been able to dedicate, 100% of my time to this topic. But anyone out there, you're all legends if you can just talk to friends, families, strangers. If you can just wake up one person here or there. Our numbers are so big now that if everyone just woke up somebody, answered a question, asked a question, left a flyer, wore a T-shirt. Did you see the picture of at the one of the NBA games? The guy wearing a flat Earth shirt right behind the bench.
No, I didn't. That's
There,
awesome.
there was there was I'm not sure which basketball game it was, but the camera was on one of the main players, and there was a guy wearing a flat Earth map shirt behind him. It was really awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
I'd throw it in the purple box, but I have no idea how to do that.
Man, you
Oh,
can't.
Dave, we walked you through that a
I know
couple
you
times.
have, but
It's a regular
sometimes.
post.
So
I
you're
was
on your
Um,
phone,
proudly
purple
claim
no,
box.
no, no.
ignorance.
I'm gonna actually. I know how to do it. I'm just gonna send it to JT. I'm gonna text it to
Send it
him.
to me, and I'll post it for you. But I wanted to tell Canadian. I wanted to ask Canadian. Have you looked through Joe Hanvey's YouTube channel? Because he has a lot of different ideas about the moon and what it is and how it operates. And I know earlier you kind of got questioned about what do you mean a reflection of the sun. Well, Joe talks about that it's like the inverse. It's like the negative of what the sun is, energetically speaking. And he also believes it's concave, not round. And that might
Got
trigger
it.
some people, but if there's a firmament above us with a certain shape and it's all about convex lenses and how it appears to us, we can't prove if it's round, flat, or concave. You just can't tell from here. But yeah,
Hmm.
Joe Hanvey on YouTube is an excellent resource.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know either. Like, I'm not pretending I know. As far as I'm concerned, it does look like a physical object, but the theory of it maybe being a reflection could make sense too, like with all the different continents and I don't know. I haven't looked into
Oh,
it in high detail, but
we're still talking about the moon.
yeah,
Is
but
that
I
what?
think we're
Yeah.
over it.
But when you say it looks like a physical object. Where does it go when it's a new moon?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
That's the one no one can answer.
Where does it go?
Yeah, it's one of those things that when the phase matches up with the sun and that it's theoretically superimposed over it, we just can't seem to actually see it. at that moment
Now,
in time.
the argument is, when it's a new moon, the sun's blinding you, and you can argue that all day. But during a total eclipse of the sun, the Earth shine should light up the moon, just like the moonshine lights up the Earth. But the Earth shine is 6 times bigger and highly more reflective than the moon, allegedly. So the Earth shine should light up the moon, but no one's ever seen it.
Or seen the moon approach the sun.
Yeah, approach, eclipse, or exit the face of the sun.
Which is troublesome. Seems
Yeah.
that it was a big old...
And so the reason I think that the moon and the sun are both apparent positions, this is just my opinion, just making sure everyone's clear, is because of the solar eclipse that I think that the physical moon, it goes behind the sun that we see, in front of the real sun. So imagine this: you got a light and you're shining it on a sheet, and you're standing on the far side of the sheet, and you can see that light. That's the apparent sun. The real sun is the flashlight, and then you have the real moon, another disc or ball or whatever, and you put it between the flashlight and the sheet. Well, on the sheet you're going to see the eclipse, but you're not going to see the eclipsing object. And it's only when the moon moves away from the sun and starts lighting up that do you see its reflection on the sheet.
Yeah, I thought that was an
sheet being
awesome
the sky.
That
Yeah.
demo just rocks. Yeah.
There are some things that say the sun is actually recharging the moon.
Very interesting. Fascinating. So check this out. You know how they say the electrostatic force is 10 to the 36 times more powerful than the force of gravity, right? You know that stat, right? Stone?
Oh, for sure. The physics profs love to point it out and then ignore it for the rest of the class.
Yeah. So wait, 10 to the 36. Do you know how big that is? I'm going to ask you a question. If you had a grain of sand and you made it 10 to the 36 times bigger, what would you compare that size to?
The sun.
Okay. You're so far off, it's beyond not even funny. Ready?
Oh, yeah. Millions of suns.
It's no. You're still so far off. It's 10 million times wider than the known universe.
Oh, that's fabulous.
That's what 10 to the 36 is, right? Michio Kaku says that their sky theoretical science is 10 to the 120. 10 to the 120 is an unfathomable, unexisting number. So when they say it's off, listen to this. This is where even a flat earther's brain will melt. So it's off by a factor, of 10 to the 120th power. So that means they're making that number of mistakes. Let's say science can make 1 million mistakes every second. Okay, 1 million mistakes every second. And they say the universe is 13 billion years old, okay? So it would be the 13 billion years worth of seconds at 1 million mistakes per second times 10 to the 97th power.
Yep.
Right? So when they throw these numbers out there, we don't, these are just impossible numbers that make your brain melt.
It made a clock that we can navigate by.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
But they seem to be fine with them. They just toss them around. Here's an exponent. There's an exponent. Okay, let's move on. It's like, no, buddy. Let's talk about physicality for a second. Get it off the chalkboard just for a moment to consider what they're actually implying. And you're quite right. It's ludicrous to even go in their direction.
Compare that to Cavendish, though, and the no control for electrostatic and how certainty they are that those balls definitely attracted based on the torsion, based on the further density. That's hilarious.
Exactly.
They call me what? What?
I'd say, but we can't go there to verify. Never ever will we be able to, and that's too uncomfortable for people that want to know and claim they know. And like you were talking earlier, that ego, it's comfortable for them to say, "Oh, we've been there. We played golf on the moon. We know all the sizes, shapes, and speeds and the heat and even the chemical composition of structures up there. It's like ridiculous, yet for us, it's super uncomfortable just to believe in something because somebody said it without investigating, like you said earlier, like the curves, you can't find it, the pressurized system's an issue, um, and the motion, that's a major problem. But people, they'd rather not even look into it, just hang on to their religion.
There's people in in their model, like, so there's electric universe proponents, like that dude Grimm used to come around all the time. And in their model, it's a dielectric sun, so that it derives from electric discharge rather than nuclear fusion. So even that idea would be better and well suited to what we would think, because I think the sun's definitely some sort of electric, right? And the moon's definitely magnetic.
Dude,
And
it
that's
is. You can
and that's
grow
how
you can grow stuff with grow lights, and you can grow it with the sun. I
Well,
mean,
so during an eclipse, right? Like you get the Elias effect, which is an electromagnetic interference with the precession of a pendulum, which no one can understand and has been replicated with Harvard, right? So then the sun being electric and the moon being magnetic would be like that intercedes would create that wave, and that would be substantiated. But even their electric universe theory puts that something similar forward in their giant distance model, saying that hey, maybe it's not a nuclear fusion device. So when you say, oh, they know it's nuclear fusion, it's like no, even they know they don't know. They're putting forth other theories all the time, and it's just like the mainstream consensus theory, which is historically always wrong, is what they know, right?
Shane, would you say a fair statement would be that the thing that they call gravity is just an effect of electromagnetism?
Could be. The thing they call gravity, we were just talking about with gravimetry, is most commonly little g, right? The little local acceleration downward, the acceptable measured average 9.8 meters per second ish. That's what they commonly call gravity. But what they usually should be calling gravity is the big G, which is like the dynamics, the big cause, which we were making fun of with Cavendish being the cause of mass attracting mass being debunked when you're not adequately discounting a force that's 10 to the 36 times stronger than the force you claimed was the cause.
I would lean more towards electrostatic and away from electromagnetic, because the electromagnetic effect affects things that are either diamagnetic or ferric content. You know what I mean? But electrostatic is affecting all matter.
Okay, we'll go electrostatic. Better
Yeah.
statement.
So when you do go back there and hit your to-do list and watch what I did this Sunday, check the previous one I also did called Electrical Thoughts, and that'll clear that up in terms of the mechanics for you.
We're
That's
talking
another fun
the
run.
last two Glowbusters.
The last two that I've done, I think they're 3 weeks apart. We've got the one from Sunday on the ILS experiment, and then the last one that I presented on was called Electrical Thoughts.
Can I ask you
What the thumbnail says.
a really lazy thing? Can you send those to me? Can you message those to me, please?
No, really. All you got to do is hit the streams tab and scroll down a bit. It's right there.
Yeah.
Dave, I got
Three
you, brother.
rectangles to the right.
JT's already doing
I'll send them
that.
right now.
JT will
Okay,
do
thanks,
it. Thank
man.
you.
That's why he's president.
JT.
Gotcha.
That's why he's the president.
That's
He's like,
right.
you know what? Dave's so dumb. I got to send it to him because that way he'll watch it. It's not that I'm dumb. It's like there's so many things I'm trying to do, and I just get
Oh, no,
sidetracked.
you
I
get
have
buried in the
ADD.
minutia. I can relate.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
You can do it easily. You're well equipped. You're tech savvy. You have way more important things to do. And every now and then, I don't mind going and grabbing a link and shooting it your way.
You know what it is? I know that I have you, JT. I know that I can just take a shortcut.
There you go.
You've made me lazy.
And the funny thing is, I'm like feeding a baby and cooking eggs and managing children and doing it all while sending links. That's what's wild.
That's the best.
So, Dave, what's the deal? Do you think there's more land beyond what we know?
I'll start that out with how would I know? But if I had to bet on it, I would say that there is. It's just my speculation. And again, I think there's you got the biblical flat earthers that say, well, God, created the firmament, and there can't be any more land. Well, who says the firmament is not 1,000,000 miles past 60 degrees south? Who says? We don't know, but I don't know how far out it goes. I think that there's probably some land within the circle that we know about that we just don't know about that land. I think there's more lands. There's so much. There's, as Bob would say, a preponderance of evidence that there is more land, more civilizations that are being hidden from us. That's my opinion.
Man, the Pacific Ocean. I mean, when you even look at their ridiculous globe there, you turn it one. It's nothing but water. I mean, I think
Have you gone on Google Earth and like zoomed in all over and looked at all of those islands out there? And like there's some crazy stuff and buildings out there, you know, like where, you know, you look at these islands, all the trees are planted in perfect rows, you know, in the middle of nowhere.
But there could be extra lands out there in the middle of the oceans that we've only explored 10% of for some.
Yes.
I agree.
Now
You know, I had two whistleblower military guys.
Oh, looks like we lost audio again. 1 second.
901 miles around the Earth there. And they found America. So that's the way it turned out.
They found America more developed than it is now.
Right? I mean, seriously. There's 92,000 dams here, man. It's ridiculous.
But they left the day after Spain kicked all of them out.
Man, that's not weird at all. But yeah. Then we got here, and apparently we didn't know how to grow food, or that snow came from the sky, and we almost froze to death because we couldn't build a building and not freeze to death and make some corn or something. Thanksgiving.
1 second. Trying to fix my mic.
Like fake and all these things, but then as soon as you bring up flat earth, it's like, oh, they wouldn't lie about that. Like they might lie about everything else, but they wouldn't lie about that. It's like all of history, the more you look into history, right? I mean, like any war, like World War II.
It's because they get the kids at such a young age. What little boy doesn't start out by saying, "I want to be an astronaut"?
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Right. So
or a
they
fireman.
get your entire psyche is built upon the foundation of a spinning ball and outer space. And so when you build your whole world on that foundation, which isn't even a foundation, it's difficult to remove that from somebody.
And also, it's like, why would they lie? What do they have to gain from it? I think it's a big part, and I think a lot of it is they're typically atheists, and they gaslight us because we believe in God, right? So it's a hard pill to swallow. Sorry, and thanks, Flat Earth Dave, for being here. I appreciate you.
Here's how I see it. So when untruths lies, falsities, are taught with total authority to a child or even an adult, it literally fractures their mind. It freezes their mind. It freezes it because they're like, a little kid in school is like, well, the teacher's telling me this, and the kid is programmed before they even go to school that teachers are gods and they would never lie, and the textbooks are the gospel truth. And so they're, the kids go to school and they go, oh, the earth is spinning and it's orbiting around the sun and it's doing all this and the lies of history. So all of that, so they're storing that as truthful information. So that literally freezes their mind. And when their mind gets filled with this garbage, it fractures their connection with higher consciousness, with higher realms of thought. And that's their whole goal, is to separate us from those higher realms. You might call that spiritual connection to God or to higher consciousness, or to, memory, like Akashic records or whatever you want to call it, higher consciousness. That's they want to separate us from that power, from that. And then they're doing stuff, like who knows what all that spray in the sky is doing. Is that also helping disconnect us? And then they poison us with, turning us into human pincushions and poisoning us. And then, the news, steering your mind, northeast, west, south news. So
Hey,
all of
real
that
quick,
together.
Dave, real quick. Hey, Ken, TM, are you guys there? Ken, TM. Hello.
Yeah, I'm
Both
still
fell
here.
asleep.
You still there? Can you see if you can get
because I've started to see that spraying going around in my skies. It's new, and it start forming hail out of nowhere in summertime. But uh, some people are talking about the aluminum content in there getting into
Clouds, the beautiful cumulus morphing clouds. What holds memory? Water holds memory. Water has, like, a drop of water holds terabytes of information. I think that all memory is stored in water. I don't think we even know. I don't think anyone even understands what water is. And to me, the clouds above, that those are literally just the heavens above. I think the clouds. This is just crazy flat Earth Dave talking. Are sentient. They're angelic, if you will. And then if you look at the spraying, when they have beautiful cumulus clouds with nice sharp edges and stuff, then they spray and it turns them into a slurry. I think that is literally a war on the heavens right above us. I look up and it is horrifying what I see, and I see it differently than most people do. So that's how I see it. And I think that they're doing everything they can to change the frequency, change our connection, poison our minds, poison our bodies. And it's all to try to control us.
Oh, that's an interesting take.
It is.
You definitely do wonder what's going on with some of these networks, and you hear of them dispersing clouds through quote unquote 5G networks, and just the random headaches you may get. And are they pulsating frequencies? Like, you don't even know, right?
Natural clouds versus fake clouds. So, if you have the rare chance in the United States here of seeing a natural cloud day, take a look, pay attention to them, look at them, and then watch what happens when they start spraying the sky. It's a war against natural versus unnatural. And you can extrapolate that out as far as you want. But I think that, this is a very spiritual world that we're in. We're on the lowest, densest level. And then there's, some people say there's 12 heavens above us. and we're looking up at the cloud layer is the first heaven. You know, just our lower atmosphere is the first level. That's just crazy Dave talking. Crazy flat earther.
And then you're saying about the kids in school with like being astronauts and whatnot. They don't teach these kids how to think or how to like deduce things, right? They're teaching you what to like regurgitate and memorize.
Right.
You know, and it's just completely backwards to like how you should actually learn. Like I remember getting disciplined for asking questions because the teacher would always tell my mom every time he raises his hand he's going to ask a question that I don't know the answer to, right? Because if it's not in the book the teacher doesn't know it, right? So it's just nonsense how they abuse these children. Then they slap some Ritalin in the parent's pocket because, you know, little Timmy can't pay attention in fucking class, instead of like taking them outside and saying, here, you know, let's grow a garden, let's play in the dirt, let's, you know, do something productive and learn with your hands, as opposed to just sitting there at a desk regurgitating and memorizing all fucking day long.
Yeah.
I don't think you become smart like in elementary and whatnot from just having kids sit there mindlessly and listen to a teacher locked into a chair for 8-9 hours a day and then traveling.
You do
It's
become
insane.
a good worker and a taxpayer that way, though, and that's really what it's intended to put out, right? You ever seen those comparisons with the school buses in the prison? The bus, lunch, cafeteria, the
Yeah.
activities, respond to a bell. It's like, oh shit, that's all right. You know what? It's no different. I just realized, except that's what it turns
That was a
into.
crazy comparison.
Training a non-playable character.
Imagine
that's
sending
what
your
it is
kid,
to me. It's near there.
Yeah, you send your kids to school to jail for 12 years to learn how to operate
regurgitate.
Just smart enough to go to work and not
Yeah,
ask questions
and pay taxes that are voluntary.
They're raising a generation of non-playable characters as opposed to free thinkers.
And people say, "Hey, Brian, you're crazy when you say stuff like that." I'm like, "There's people out there that think there's more than 2 genders. They got taught that in school."
Would you believe 6?
Man.
It's all
And then they're doing some crazy math. Have you seen the Common Core math? Oh my goodness. What evil person came up with Common Core math? I mean, seriously. Take this box here and turn it. It's like, what?
You know, you ask somebody that, you know, like school's great and everything. You say, you know, have you ever heard of vortex mathematics or sacred geometry? And they've never heard of it. If for those of you that don't know what vortex mathematics is, go on YouTube and search vortex mathematics. So there's a guy named Randy something, I think, with his whiteboard. It'll blow your mind. It's so fascinating. And then, of course, sacred geometry. That's the real stuff. That's the stuff that'll teach you how this world works. But they want to just teach you slave math, you know, algebra and accounting and, you know, corporate slave math.
Yeah, that sounds a bit like Rodin too. Rodin, the guy taught a lot of toroid shape, symmetry, and electromechanics. I mentioned him very briefly in that other Glowbusters thingy you're gonna watch.
Awesome.
Dude,
So I assume that the yin and the yang represented the sun and the moon, and the whole idea that the moon sort of caught the energy of the sun and was offsetting in a different unknown way. Does that not make sense to people, like the Chinese yin yang sign?
I mean, that's what it appears to be. I haven't thought it to be anything else. I think the sun powers everything from us to plants to the earth to everything.
Yeah,
I think,
for sure.
I think the sun and the moon do. I think the dynamic system of those two interactions causes like everything: the tides, the weather, the spin, like the magnetic, like blood, night and day. It's the dynamic cause of I think every system that we know of.
Yeah, they definitely both have an effect. I mean, especially on like crops and stuff. The moon's actually doing some crazy stuff for it too.
So I was driving home one night in like 2019, and this crazy dude was on the radio. Oh shit! I got a baby to do it.
Oh.
Real quick, Dave, I've actually had a discussion with
Truth GPT. It was like 2 years ago. I tagged you in the post where it was talking about the clouds being sentient.
There's a lot of, shall I say, evidence of it, but again, I don't know if our minds are even able to fully comprehend what that means. I mean, if you think about it, the heavens above, we're saying they're non-physical angels, if you will, or whoever's in heaven. Well, the clouds are kind of non-physical. Planes fly through them, no problems. They're supposedly made of mega tons of water, but float in the sky for some reason. Water holds memory. Well, they look like brains. If you watch them morphing, it's just very, very, very interesting.
Think about when we were kids, right? When we went down on the
I
grass,
mean, the Bible does
looking up,
kind of.
and it would say, "Hey, that cloud looks like an elephant." And suddenly, it looks like an elephant. How do we know if our minds, as young kids, weren't influencing that?
Could be, but you say that water holds memory and stuff, and then it comes down as snowflakes and stuff. Sometimes it froze like that.
Yeah.
What the heck? What the heck is it remembering? Looking like that.
Well, you guys have seen the Dr. Emoto stuff, but there's another woman that's taken his work to the next level, where she can get water and literally give it a thought or write a word or and it freezes and shows those images and it remembers it. So
I saw one where it was just taking the seed of a like an apple or whatever and putting freezing it and made an apple or like a sun. It took a sunflower seed, made a picture of a sunflower in there.
100%. And they what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so water holds memory. You can say kind things to water, put love on a bottle, and it changes the structure of the water. So think about that. Think how that would affect your body. So when people pray over their food, they're literally praying to the water in the food, and the water changes the structure, and that's how it affects you. So the water to me is literally like the physical manifestation of God, because it's everywhere. You can't live without it. It's in you. It's around you. It's everywhere. And without water, there's no life.
Well, Genesis chapter 1, what existed other than God in the beginning? It was just the waters of the deep.
Yeah.
Water.
Let me ask you this, Dave. Let me take you back to an incident that took place in Miami 2024. I think it was January 1st, when they, hopefully you know what I'm talking about, they dispatched, it looked like 150
every
SWAT
cop,
troops.
right?
Now, anybody in the audience, or maybe even on the stage, knows that even a shooting incident wouldn't disperse this many cops. I don't even think like a multiple homicide would disperse this many cops. I could be wrong,
You talking
but
about Miami?
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they brought the whole police
there?
force, almost the whole state down there. For what? For a B&E? I don't think so, man.
Right? What happened, Dave? What do you
Wait,
think?
are you asking me what happened in Miami?
What do you think happened in Miami? Because you
Something
obviously
big
saw
went
something.
down.
I didn't see any. I mean, I just saw the news reports. Um, they made, who knows? Maybe there was some giants there. Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, that definitely was weird though. But yeah, they're claiming alien. And then here's the thing, man. There's no phone footage of anything. No one busted out their phone. I mean, people will bust out their phone for anything. If they would have had phones on the Titanic, they would have busted them out, man. Being like, oh, here we go. No one got no one.
And not one single like dash cam released or anything, right?
But yeah, they brought the whole of the police force. They said everybody show up, come into this location, and then it just disappeared. Where did that story go from? I remember. I didn't forget about
Crazy, eh?
I didn't forget about aliens at the mall in beginning of 2024, man.
I did. Pepperidge Farm plumb forgot about that one.
Just like I didn't forget about the 2.7 trillion that got lost in the Pentagon.
And to go back on that footage from Miami, what if there is footage? All our phones are, we don't know these companies and who puts them out there, but they could have deleted everything. Everything's on the cloud, essentially.
The whole Miami thing, I don't know. I mean, it could be biblical. It could be like some other being from some other land, showed up or came out from under the ground, or who knows? Again, I wasn't there. Just saw a big police response, and a big cover up. So don't know.
Yeah, you just don't dispatch that many officers and cruisers to anything other than like.
You know what's crazy is they'll say that the government does this and they don't trust the government here and they don't trust the government there, and you're like, hey man, the Earth is flat, and they go, well, why would they lie about that? Like, why would they lie about any of that stuff you just don't agree with? I mean, how many times has a liar got to lie before you start questioning everything they do and say?
Yeah, the why the lie is, the answer is, how would I know? I'm not the one lying. But the real answer is there's so many reasons. It is the most important lie to keep us under control. So it's about control, because if you don't know where you are, who you are, what this place is, the power of this place, the power that you have, that's how they control you. They keep you in fear. The only way they can control you here is just keep you in fear. And that's the only thing. That's probably the only true statement a president ever said. The only thing to fear is fear itself. And fear, of course, is false evidence appearing real. So that's.
I mean, my whole life, I've been waiting for the asteroid to hit Earth that they say was going to hit Earth. I mean, there's always an asteroid on the way to Earth.
Wait no further. That Atlas, what is that, Atlas 3i or whatever it is?
Atlas AI or I don't know what is it called. Three Atlas.
Yeah, 3i Atlas.
3i Atlas.
What a
Talk about keeping everybody in fear. Oh, we're going to end up like the dinosaurs.
Well,
we're going to get hit by an asteroid.
Well, it's not even about fear. So fear state is part of it, right? But the other thing is to get people to surrender their individual knowledge and critical thinking to authority in the government, right? Which is how they did it with COVID. Like, you don't know. I'm going to give you so many conflicting instructions that you're going to have to turn to the experts, and you can't believe your own senses. Then you apply that to the globe with the foundational, infrastructure of NASA and the government and the authoritative, science and scientism. Well, again, look, you can't trust what you see. It looks like the sun's moving, but you're spinning backwards faster than this. It looks like everything's moving around you, but actually you're moving around everything. It looks like, so you couple that with the constant fear state of, okay, put you in that state to make the choice, and then have to convince you to make the choice to surrender your individual critical thinking to them, and then that's how they control you. Those two things together, for sure.
That's like a high IQ thought process of it, and I definitely agree.
The woman I was talking about that does the Dr. Emoto type work to the next level, her name is Veda, Veda Austin. Veda Austin. And there's some really great interviews she's done, and mind-blowing if anybody wants to look into it.
What is she talking about?
The life of water. She freezes water, and it does all sorts of stuff, right? It has intention, memory. It does it reproduces picture, it reproduces font, it reproduces, I think, crazy stuff. I've never heard a rebuttal to any of that.
Didn't she do the thing with the seed and make a sunflower?
I think that is her that did it. I think that I think that was her that did that. Yeah.
That was pretty wild. And that's why I'm saying, if water has a memory, and when you look at snowflakes, man, they say no two snowflakes are the same. And then you actually look at one. They got some pretty trippy patterns, man. What is that?
How do you know no two snowflakes are the same? Have you checked them all?
That's what they say. I haven't checked them all. That's what I went with. I went with the appeal to authority.
I think there's 4 trillion different snowflakes.
Yeah, it's possible. But what is it? Taking a memory, it's got to get that memory from something. It turned into a snowflake. Where to get that idea?
Yeah,
of snowflake?
Yeah, it's like cymatics with water and sand.
I mean, is it remembering what an angel looks like?
I think water is more complicated than flat Earth. It's just
Well,
there's so much to it, which is great. We'll never figure out everything.
doesn't Tom Cowan talk about structured water and how if your heart's not a pump, then how structured water affects
Yep.
how blood travels up your veins against the so-called force of little gravity? So then it's all kind of connected, right?
Yep. Tom Cowan's a flat earther, by the way.
Is he?
Well, this is what I say, so I don't throw anyone under the bus. Everyone in the health freedom movement, except one person, is a flat earther. That way, it's like the shooting squad. You know, there's one guy that doesn't have a bullet.
Nice.
They're all flat.
I know Tom Cowan is cool as shit. The only time I talked to him was that summit thing. I didn't bring up flat Earth, but he's just as
Yeah, no, he's open. He's more open about it now. I try not to throw anyone under the bus, but him and Andy Kaufman and the rest of them.
I know Kaufman's been getting exposed all the time. I thought Tom Cowan was kind of ignoring it or whatever, so I'm glad he caught on.
Yeah, no, I'm actually in a Telegram group with a lot of these people, a ton of them, and it was kind of like a secret Telegram group to talk about flat Earth but now there are more and more of them are coming out publicly and slowly addressing it.
All right, lads and ladettes, we're going to wrap up for the evening. See you guys on Sunday for Shane's presentation on gravimetry.